October 6, 2017. This is MMAjunkie Radio. I am Goes. To my left, yeah, that's Gorgeous George. He's here. Dan Tom is off camera, but he is also here, and he will be coming around the corner here in a second.
Dirty.
Coming into frame. That voice you just heard, that's Mike Russo. He's producing today's show. Danny Otto is still out. And, you know, there's a few junkies here in the house. There always is. On today's show, we will have Uriah Faber, Hall of Famer Uriah Faber, and we will have Daniel Cormier, the light heavyweight champion. So here we go, guys. Oh, did you raise your mic? Yeah, okay.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMAjunkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Go. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yes!
The MMAjunkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMAjunkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMAjunkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMAjunkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMAjunkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, our ace co-host, back east, handling all the producing duties, Mike Russo, and of course, our latest addition, Dan Tom, fight analyst extraordinaire. What's up, guys?
What up?
Good to see you, man.
Somebody needs to point that out. This is Gorgeous George, not over the phone, guys. He's in studio. It's his first day back. How come your leg's not up?
I was going to do it, and I thought, well, let me see how this feels. And so far, this is all right.
Yeah.
So I may have to go to the chiropractor a little because I might wind up getting all twisted up. But I'll probably adjust maybe every 30 minutes.
Turn your chair if you're going to do that. That
maybe
way you don't do this.
Yeah, I might do that. I might stand for a while.
Producer Goes trick, Dan Tom.
Yep.
So now I'm on this side. I like it. The dark, is this the dark side?
Don't get used to it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
You know what'll be real distracting is the people that walk by. A lot of hot chicks walk by.
Yeah, there's a crew walking by right now, but I don't define them as hot, but they're hot in their own way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not.
No, they're not. I didn't at any point think, is there a pageant in town? But again, everyone was beautiful in their own way, and they had some beauty to them. Yeah. It was more on the top side. UFC 216 takes place tomorrow here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. I got a screen dedicated to just the weigh-in. Now, I was distracted a few seconds ago as we entered the show. Is that Kevin Lee? I can't tell. They all look alike. Oh, no, that's Will Brooks. Just kidding. Lighten up. Kevin Lee's obviously the concern, not just because he's a good friend of the show, frequent co-host, but he is in a title fight. So, like, we really want belts to be exchanged if it goes that way, or to be defended. The flyweights are in. Demetrius is in, 125. Borg comes in at 124. So all the worry that was on Borg, and he actually had an extra pound to give. I wonder how pissed he is, by the way, at that, because you suffer those last pounds. So I wonder if that last pound was like 2 hours, a 2-hour nightmare yesterday or this morning.
Somebody said that once you get 5 pounds within your weight, every pound feels like 5 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, it's that bad. So Ferguson did weigh in, and that's good. Now, I guess I could give this a refresh just to make sure.
Tavares looks like he just hit the scales the most recent, but no sign of Lee yet, if that's the one you were looking for.
That's the last one that would complete at least the title fights. because Ferguson weighed in about 10 minutes ago at 155 on the dot. Remember, there's no 1 pound allowance for the title fights. Derek Lewis has to cut to get to 265, but he came in at 263.5, and I don't believe he's ever been a problem, right?
No.
And to be fair, neither has Kevin.
Yeah.
So it's just that report that he was 19 pounds out as of yesterday. Of course, that could just be a smokescreen. Maybe, they just say it, or maybe it's really 12. But he said he was ahead of other weight cuts that he's had that have been more brutal.
Hey, but
the thing that happens is you get older, and sometimes your body, depending on what's happening, if it's not ready to release it, it's not ready to release it. But I feel like the more I talk about that, the more I'm jinxing it. So far, Kevin is batting 1,000. And go ahead, Gus.
Well, Kevin is a lot more cerebral than people think, and I wouldn't doubt it if he's just sitting back there laughing right now. He's just that type of guy. He has so much confidence.
But while doing that laughing, Gus, that's also 2 hours that you're not replenishing.
Maybe, yeah. But like I said, he's so cocky that I think he would actually do something like that.
Yeah. You never know with Kevin. And he is a very bright kid. From day one that he came in, I looked at him more as just a cocky athlete, a guy that I think was trying a little hard, but little by little did I realize that's just him, Now, he has taken it up a notch, but who the fuck wouldn't be if you're getting these promotions at work? And that's what you get when you're getting more money and your status is higher and you're on billboards and you're main eventing, so it's like those promotions you're getting at work. How would you expect somebody who on day one may have been an admin or someone in the mailroom who all of a sudden starts working their way all the way to the top? I worked in a stockroom, for example, at State Farm, and years later I worked in human resources wearing a tie. So you go through those phases. Who wouldn't be a little bit more full of confidence and energy? And Kevin's just gotten all this by age 25. Plus, I think he knows the equation to popularity and superstardom, and some of it is being brash and cocky and playing a character, and I think he's doing a great job of it. So we'll see what happens here with this weigh-in. I expect him to weigh in, and I expect to have 2 title fights tomorrow. Definitely.
Yeah, I just don't. Kevin's very disciplined. I mean, we've seen it on trips where he had opportunities to eat bad stuff or not get a workout in, and he's always done it. So
yeah, and he's a guy though that has teased going to 165 if and when that division ever comes. So the 55 ride won't last forever.
Yep.
And as of right now, the UFC has not adopted those weight classes, even though those weight classes are available. I'm going to give you all the fighters that have weighed in. And I guess, do you guys have a window open? No?
Okay. He's looking at it
on
Twitter.
All right, so Tony Ferguson is in at 155. Lee, we're awaiting. Johnson and Borg are both in. Notably, Borg came in at 124. Lewis and Verdum are both in. Mara Romero Borella. Who? Yeah, Mara Romero Borella came in at 126. She'll be facing Kalinda Faria at 125. Faria's opponent dropped out. Who the hell was it?
Angela Lee.
Yeah.
Andrea Lee.
And she was replacing. Well, that wasn't the Van Zandt fight, right?
Yeah,
okay.
that
was a whole other fight.
Yeah, that was on the main card, though. You're right.
Yeah, and by the way, why does a newcomer get to come in and just be on a main card? Like, what again is the process to that?
I don't know, man.
Like,
I mean,
so many of these other fighters just put them up. You know what I mean? Like, why not Harris and Godbeer? They're heavyweights. Someone's probably getting laid out, right? I think that's what they want.
But there's got to be a reason, because they're not sitting back listening to us going, hey, these guys are making great points. Like, they probably thought it out. But that's what we want to know is, what is that process?
Yeah, what is it? We need to get an answer.
Right. And even if you wanted to put a female fight on there, why not the other one on the undercard? You have Pro Gonzalez, who already fought for the UFC, and Poliana Botella, who MMA Junkie's own Fernanda Pradas wrote an interesting article. She actually does like soap operas in Brazil. So I mean, there's that regional market there. Why didn't they bring that fight up? So yeah, you're right. It's interesting choice.
Dariush and Dunham, both in at 156. Duquesnoy, right?
Yeah, no, perfect.
Versus Cody Stamen, both on 135.5, 136 respectively. Brooks is in at 56. Nick Lentz, his opponent, is not weighed in. Bobby Green and Lando Venata, both in. Venata pushing the limits there a little, 155.75. Poliana Botello is in at 115. Pro Gonzalez has not weighed in. Somebody in here had a concern about Pro Gonzalez. Who was it?
I think it was Randy.
Was it Randy? All right, Randy. site coordinator Randy. Hope you didn't jinx her. Let's see here. Mark Godbeer and Walt Harris, both good. Easy, 244.5, 251. Magomed Bibulutov has not weighed in. Neither has John Moraga. Talis Latis at 185.5. Identical mark for Brad Tavares' opponent. Both of those on the UFC Fight Pass. Now, see, both of those guys are top 10, top 15 guys. Like, why aren't they on the main card?
I don't know, man. That's the thing with, and it's kind of happened to Brad a few times where
decisions.
Maybe decisions
caught up with him. All right, Marco Beltran has not weighed in. Matt Schnell 126. So we have about 5 or 6 left, I think, roughly. And the weigh-in today, usually, if I'm not mistaken, guys, isn't it 8 a.m. to 10? This one started an hour later.
Yeah, that's what.
By now, it'd be done.
That's what usually it is, 10.
And so we still got an hour to go. On the front page of MMA Junkie, you can check it out. We have 50 minutes to go, I guess. And I think all eyes are on, let's see, Kevin Lee's the one that really matters. I think by then, the main card's preserved. And I would really like to see Bibulutov and Moraga, ranked fighters at flyweight, get in there, do their thing, and then after that, it just leaves a few others. But we'll keep an eye on it throughout the show. Daniel Cormier is on the show today, UFC light heavyweight champ. He's going to be in studio. And if you are watching the video that accompanies the show, which you can, by the way, at facebook.com/official MMA Junkie or youtube.com/MMA Junkie Video. The Grows brought in some video games for Daniel Cormier, who loves his video games. So I think that was part of the deal of baiting him here, right?
Yeah, he likes to play video games in his hotel room. But no, that's usually like Madden or something like that.
We asked him. We said, hey, how come you don't? Because he goes, I need to see you guys. I should see you guys more often. Yeah, bitch, what holds you up? I think I told him. He goes, you know what? He goes, at the end of the day, he goes, I just love to play video games when I'm not preparing. So I told Goes, I go, we need to get on this. So we brought Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Old school there, huh, Goes?
Very old school. I figured, but I like it because when he gets here, the game is going to be this. We start at Glass Joe, and let's see how far we can get by the end of the show. Daniel's prediction is Super Macho Man. No way in hell that's going to happen, especially if you guys saw the pre-show, what me and Dan were doing. We were getting smoked early on.
Hopefully it does
so
better.
There's no way that's going to happen. I think we'll make it to maybe Bald Bull.
Good call.
But even in my day when I would play this, I never got to Tyson. I mean, you were the older brother. I think you did get to him, but I don't know that you did.
He fucked me up.
Yeah. So
people
on Twitter are
the only way I would have beat him is to play it probably 10,000 times and just try different things. Or I guess the cheat code maybe, but I'm just not into that, man.
There was none. So the cheat code was to get you straight to him.
Yeah.
But then he would just rip you apart.
Right. So that's the best I was ever able to do. I did battle him, but most of the time he mopped me up.
Wow. Me and my friends would be in the background. We'd watch George. We'd be cheering him on, but he'd get mopped up.
I didn't stand a chance, dude. I didn't understand.
He was like the ringer, so we would get beat up, and then we'd go, if anybody can do it, get your brother George. And then he'd be like on the phone with a chick, and I'd go, hey, get in here. And he'd come in, and he'd battle a little bit, but then, yeah, Tyson.
I remember that damn Bald Bull was one of my hiccups. And for him, because I think he would charge at you, right? And then go, boom, I think throw an uppercut.
Yeah,
so what you had to do was stand there. Was it the stomach or I thought the nose?
And I think it's the stomach.
One of these was just stand there and go, boop, and then he'd go down. But who would have ever guessed that, right? A power puncher, you thought you'd have to mix it up. So, they were creative. It was creative at the time. There was no internet. There was no way of figuring it out. But it was tons of fun, great memories, and you can definitely tell the difference between video games nowadays.
Yeah, the ethnic touches they have there for all the characters. The athletic commissions apparently allow them to wear headdresses into the ring. This is awesome.
Yeah, there was this game's a little racist at times, dude.
Yeah,
so we'll have some fun with Daniel Cormier, who will be in studio. Our other guest is Uriah Faber, former WEC featherweight champion, and for many years a bantamweight title contender in the UFC. Now retired, a UFC Hall of Famer, but at some point I'm sure we'll lob the question: is it really over? Because this just happens to be the era where a lot of fighters can fight late into their 30s or 40s and get paid. Now, Faber's been pretty smart, so I don't think if he ever fought it'd be because he needs the money, but rather just maybe
that hunger.
Save a card or a super fight or a money fight or But
I think it's just competitive juices.
Yeah, that
would
too.
bring 'em back.
Mostly that. I agree. There's a lot of bantamweight fights out there that we can ask him about, including Team Alpha Male's Cody Garbrandt defending against TJ Dillashaw in New York, and that takes place in about a month. You got Dominic Cruz versus Jimmy Rivera. Faber knows a lot about both of those guys. And then a bunch of other matchups that are, sprouting up. I saw Caraway at Extreme Couture the other day. Did he get a matchup yet?
No, I don't think
I'm
so.
hearing it. I think he knows what's happening. So Caraway has a matchup. Sun Sal's got a matchup.
I'm confused about, and maybe you might know a little bit more about the stand. I thought he had an injury that he had to solve before he could get back in. And I don't feel like we've been through that timetable yet.
Well, it's been about a year, though, hasn't it? Let me look him up.
He went on that long trip, remember, and he came back.
I mean, look, I think it's pretty public now that him and Misha Tate are no longer a couple. It's probably just a broken heart. I mean, they were together for 10 years, worked together, and lived together. So I have to imagine he just needed to get over that mostly versus any injuries he may have had. I don't know. He's never been an active fighter anyway.
Right.
So who knows? I'd love to have him back in studio and ask him. But I clearly remember one time we had him and asked him if marriage was on the horizon. I think that was right around the time problems were arising. And he goes, "Ooh," he goes, "I don't even want to talk about that right now." And so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Since then, I think he came in and told us about his trips in Vietnam. He bought a motorcycle, rode that for 3 months or something.
He went through all of
a
lot of Asia.
That guy's an adventure guy. But I did see him at the gym the other day, and I think he's got a fight booking coming up. Yet another bantamweight.
Good, yeah.
Oh, you
good.
know what? I know a way of knowing.
Good for him. He definitely needs to get back in there in the mix. He's had some key wins and just needs to get put together that momentum for his sake. But yeah, he did have a shoulder injury that he was pretty public about.
Yeah?
Yeah, there we go.
Is it there?
Don't say it out loud, but this is always a good way to.
Is his name up there?
No, there's nothing there.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I covered that part because I was at the gym, and so I looked, but I didn't see anything. But I'm hearing there's a fight booking out there. These guys are like, I guess, I don't know what the UFC does, man. When the UFC calls you and says, "Hey, listen, Dan, we got you," and goes in New York, and then I think they say something along the lines of, "But if either of you motherfuckers say anything, we know where your families are. We will decapitate." Like, they are on this embargo where there's nothing, like, nobody's slipping lately. You know what I mean?
I've heard it before because fighters have let things go. The matchmakers pulled the fight.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about how much that means to them. So I can kind of see it. But I think the bigger you get, the less of a chance that's going to happen. Right. If Cormier goes, "I'm fighting John Jones," they're not going to go, "Hey, you told, now you're not fighting him." Like,
right.
You see what I'm saying? Maybe the lower level guys.
Who knows? But like Vettori, we tried with him. John Tuck, I mean, they were kind of keeping their cards close to the chest.
Yeah.
But at some point, we'll figure out where Caraway fits in this whole scheme of things. Bantamweight's got a lot of great up-and-coming fighters and, a lot of veterans as well. So I like that division. One of my favorites.
Didn't Ghost try to get Vettori to slip up yesterday, and he wrote something down? But what was it? A cheese recommendation, or what did he end up giving you?
Yeah, he was just telling me a good Italian restaurant is what he put down on there.
All right.
Vettori was fun, man. He was was really, really funny. And even like during the commercial breaks, we were all joking and laughing about stupid things. The first time he came in, he was a lot of fun too. But this time he took it to a new level. He was fantastic.
It is now 10:18 a.m. in the morning, and still no Kevin Lee sighting. I think, Randy, you would have let us know by now as well. Yeah, you're watching it? Yeah. All right. So we'll try and keep an eye. I'm bouncing around here between different screens, and I just want the kid to weigh in and get past that. And then they rehydrate, and it's over. I really want to get to Thursday. Have them wait Thursday night.
Oh. Yeah.
I somehow feel like the fighters were more comfortable with having that day to build it up, and I don't know that a lot of them want to make weight at night and then sleep and wake up and be on, because when you wake up, you have to be on point. I think only the title fighters, if I'm not mistaken, get the multiple opportunities, and it's some states they do, some states they don't, but that's been the hiccup for a lot of fighters. That's just the way it doesn't happen. And if we're going to talk about safety, then let's give them an additional 12 hours.
I think the one thing that stands out for me would be, how about saving a card? Like, remember Mitrione and Fedor? They just didn't have the time to really get a replacement. They had people that were willing to step in. There just wasn't that time.
That's another card. Remember, what was the one we had Michael Johnson here when Habib didn't make weight?
Yeah.
An extra day could maybe save a couple cards here and there.
Yeah. And we've also talked about how do we make Thursday an event? So if there's going to be a public weigh-in, if you tell everyone, hey, hop in a cab, come on down, wait in line, and have a bunch of guys weigh in for 30 minutes, well, give them something else. They do give them these Q&As or whatever, but why not tack on a fight night? Just for the
fight night?
Yeah.
For the weigh-in?
After the weigh-in.
Yeah. God damn, that's a lot, George.
Why is that?
A whole card? I was thinking like maybe 3 grappling matches.
How about like a Dana White Contender Series? Here's five fights.
Something like that. Okay, I could see.
So that's a Thursday night event, and then Friday, I don't know what Friday is. Maybe Friday's a regular fight night. But I'm just saying for the pay-per-views, why not? Okay, I see a commissioner lining up. I'm not going to turn on the volume because I don't want to throw everything off here, but who is this? A towel is being handed. It is not an African-American male.
Is it Lentz? Because there's something going on with
there is a towel though
right now.
Is there?
Yeah, they're talking about the Lentz. The Lentz Brooks fight might be off due to Lentz weight cut.
No, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on it right now.
All right, this gentleman is naked as a jaybird with the UFC towel in front of him. I think that's Bibulutov. Every time I say his name, I feel like I'm going.
yeah.
Right?
Like you're trying to entertain a baby?
If I just did that, nobody would notice.
I'm usually doing games. That one's
I don't have the volume, so I take it he's good, or he hasn't stepped on there yet. Okay.
You'll know he's good when he does something like this. Like,
gotcha. Yeah. All right, here he goes. I'll give you a play-by-play. He is now stepping to the scale. Oh, he doesn't need. He's got a pose. Okay. Sorry. It looks like he's good to go. He did one of these. Number 1.
126. I'm reading.
126.
Yes, sir.
All right. Look at those guys.
Needed the towel.
Junkie just punches it in fast, huh?
They do.
Yeah. Did need the towel, and then what happened was, as I turned to you all, by then he had put him back on, and that's why he was able to come in and do his pose and get the heck out of Dodge. What are we down to, 3?
Yeah. I'm not sure who the remaining guys are. I guess Lee's kind of on all our minds for there, but
and
what do you know about Lentz? Would you read it? Is there something you can read to us, or is it a tweet or a story or what?
I haven't seen anything official. I'm trying to look for the outlets to say it, but this is more just kind of a Twitter chatter, Twitter personalities saying like, Lentz Brooks maybe off. Lentz having trouble with weight cut. I'm just looking for something official before I said.
Didn't Lentz fight at 45 once?
Yeah, which is weird. So I mean, I know he's a thicker dude, but
he's not a tall guy.
No, he's like 5'8", 5'9". I
mean, when you say thick too, Brooks. I mean, that guy's pretty
giant,
big. Yeah. Big legs, hips.
His thighs are huge.
So I don't know that he's trying to hear that that excuse. We said we have some fight TV streams to give away. So the best call today, you get a fight stream. You can watch the fights for free tomorrow, the pay-per-view, courtesy of Fight TV. Goes and I and Dan will be the judges here, and mix in some wit or a great take on anything that's happening with the sport of ours, the event tomorrow.
Make us laugh.
At the end of the show, we'll choose. There you go, 866-522-2846, and we may give away a second one today, or we may do it tomorrow, because tomorrow what we got going on is alternative broadcasting via Sportscaster. SPORTSCASTR. There's no E at the end on Sportscaster. Alternative programming. We will be here in the studio here at Mandalay Bay, and we will be watching the fights as you're watching them. Whether you choose to watch or order the pay-per-view or not, we're here for you. You can hear us talk about them, react to them, maybe play-by-play certain parts of them, but we're basically just going to pretend like we're at home watching them and having a good time. But informative. We have odds here. We'll probably be running back and forth as our parlays drop, hoping that we can pull off a miracle by the end of the night. No, seriously, it's really a competitive card, and we can't wait. It's going to be a good time, and hopefully you guys can join us. Now, that part is going to start at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, right when the pay-per-view starts. However, via Facebook, we'll be here for a fight or two on those prelims that are available on FX. You heard it now. It's on FX, not Fox Sports 1 or 2. It's on FX. And you should start to check your listings, your local listings, your satellite and cable listings. FX is $248 on.
You know what, though?
DirecTV. Yeah.
With college football, with baseball playoffs, I would just
The Dodgers are at 4 or 6?
No, they're not playing yet.
The Dodgers play tomorrow.
I would set everything to record on all those channels because it gets bounced around a lot.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose out.
Yeah.
So
I know USC plays at 1, right? They host Oregon State. And is it up there? Well, that's our squad at USC.
Our other squad in soccer, Peru got a big victory yesterday.
Oh yeah. Well, they got the valuable point. They drew versus Argentina in Argentina, which is almost like winning. But now they go till Tuesday, and that's the country my mom's from. We've been there many times. We carry Peru in our heart, and this would be the first time that they qualify for the World Cup since 1982. So you can tell how much that means to the whole country. And Tuesday night will be a big game. They host against Colombia. 6:08 win.
Is the Dodger game tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
And then what was the other one?
USC.
USC.
I think that's an afternoon game.
Well, that should be easy to find. Just go to the top 25 teams.
We will. Oh, Brandon from Louisville.
1 p.m.
I hope he calls in. He was talking some smack on USC, and his Cardinals went down yesterday to NC State. So anyway,
back to the stream though.
Yeah.
I think we should give the streams away today to give somebody ample time to throw a party or something, invite some friends over, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if they get it tomorrow, then it's like they're scrambling, like, oh, I guess I'll just watch it alone here. If they get it today, they can go, hey guys, MMA Junkie Radio's this shit. I got a free stream. Come on over. Let's throw a fight party.
2 streams today, huh?
We got to make it earn it, though.
All right, we may do the second stream today. Let's get some good calls, though. 866-522-2846. And we're going to take a commercial. I think we should do that, get the big commercial out of the way. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We are expecting Daniel Cormier in studio here. We'll get him to hang out for quite a while. We'll take some calls with him. So get in that queue. Let me repeat the number one more time. 866-522-2846. We'll be right back.
They are the Wright brothers of mixed martial arts. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
SiriusXM presents an exclusive subscriber-only event, The Eagles, live at the Grand Ole Opry. You can win a trip to Nashville and front row tickets. For more information and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Eagles before October 19th. No additional purchase necessary. Did I say that right? The Grand Ole Opry?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's one of the most famous venues in Tennessee, right? I think.
Nashville, Tennessee, yeah. That's cool. Subscriber only, though. So I know sometimes there's that. They be freestyling and letting you get in there for a couple of weeks if your subscription has expired. I think we recently had one of those, but man, I still get stuff in the mail from time to time. Mm-hmm. Sirius makes it really affordable, like literally $60 for 6 months just to get things going again. And of course, there's different packages out there. If you really want to come strong and have everything available, then it's going to be a little bit more. But otherwise, I mean, you'd be a fool because just our channel alone has pro wrestling, tons of MMA, boxing. We really got you covered. There's times where we may not get a guest. Luke Thomas comes strong, or MMA Tonight, and so I really like the support that one channel can have.
I think
towards the sport.
Overall, everything is pretty affordable, but when you add them all together, right? If you throw in like your Planet Fitness, right? What's that, like $10? Netflix. Amazon Prime, Netflix.
Yeah, decisions must
so you
be
got to
made.
cut back on some. Hulu, whatever the hell that is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them, man.
Decisions must be made, but
hey,
I mean, it all depends on what it means to you. Sure.
Let's talk about something before the champ gets here, because I know he's on his way. You had your second physical therapy yesterday.
Fuck.
How'd that go?
Dude, the first one was a Swedish massage compared to the second one. And I told her, I go, hey, you do realize I had surgery 2 weeks ago, not 2 months ago, right? Mm-hmm. And she giggled and she said, yeah, I read the notes. I'm like, why is session one so much easier and less painful than session two? And she said, they're going to vary. But I guess the second session, on the heels of the first session, more work can be done on that second session. So the first one, when she first saw me, all she did was kind of work around my incision and kind of break up scar tissue. But it felt more like a massage. And because I wear this brace and then I wear a wrap around it, really, if anything, your knee kind of itches a little bit. So I thought, if anything, she was kind of scratching it, and it felt good, and rubbing it. And I was like, oh, man.
Did your leg go like this?
If this is therapy, yeah. If I was a dog, I would have been, the other leg would have been just moving involuntarily. But so when I had that and then some easy exercises, do this at home. I did whatever she asked me to at home. I thought, cool, we're going to ease into it. Now, on the one hand, that shit's expensive too, right? So I guess it makes sense. Like, let's start moving pieces here. But you guys, I don't know what way to tell you this, but when you can't walk and you want to walk or drive a car or anything else, and you can't wait to get back to that. And that's just walking. All right, think about a jog, a run, or even Max is a high-paced walk. I love the walk Max, but his is a faster-paced walk because he's pulling. He loves to burn energy and stuff like that. And then stopping and pivoting and I forgot something. You forget something, you're running upstairs. I have to everything takes a while. A shower. So anyway, just to get to that point, you want to get to it. So on that hand, on that side of things, I can appreciate her urgency or whatever it is, or her stepping it up. But I'm telling you, when she's asking your knee to bend, and you feel like that thing's going to rupture and you got to start all over again, fuck, dude, that's scary. And it's painful, too.
When do you get to the part of the physical therapy where you can drive again?
She told me, she gave me conservative number. She goes, you will not walk without a cane until 2018. So by that, I think she meant January. That sounds more dramatic, but I think what she meant was 90 days or 3 months without a cane. Otherwise, she would recommend I have it. She also said, I feel
like this motion.
I feel the same for driving, but it's the bending of the leg to get in and out, and so think about it. I have to have my leg at about a 45-degree angle to drive.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe a little bit more. Maybe
but more,
35.
isn't it more flexing of your foot than it is like your actual
I
leg?
don't think that's so much a problem. That doesn't hurt as much. It's the bending of the leg and
probably being
they
uncomfortable
also
in the same spot.
they also look at every scenario, like what if something were to happen? Could you get out of your car and like you know or get back into it or whatever? So and remember, kind of like when you do go to a doctor, they always give you the conservative numbers. So maybe if I step on it a little bit, December 1st, I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. What I know I don't want is to re-tear this bad boy. And I'm telling you, when she's going just from 20 degrees to like 22, it really is it's like a pro wrestling move, you know. And I'm just getting ready to tap. But that's what it feels like. Like she's Hulk Hogan and she's looking at the audience and or Frank Mir, I'm gonna snap this bad boy, you know, unless you tap. That's what it feels like. And I'm trying to joke with her, but you know, I'm kind of going, take it easy, bitch, you know. But I'm joking around, going, hey, that kind of hurts. But she's relentless. She made me feel good about on day one that she's dealt with this injury. It's not a common injury, but she's dealt with it a few times per year for the last 17 years. So I trust her.
That's her way of saying this ain't my first rodeo, right?
Right. I trust her.
I think when you get to that point where you can drive, that's when that physical therapy will kick in for me, and I'll be my drunkest. I'll just go, George, PT time, 2 a.m., pick me up.
Well, Goes, I will tell you this. You've noticed, because you've had to deal with me for the last 3 weeks, just to go to the restroom, you need to pick up my leg and put it to the ground.
Are we still doing that, though? Because
no.
You haven't been doing that.
Well, that's the one thing. I guess the fact that she's working it so hard, I'm able to do that on my own now. So, if these were my legs about 2 weeks ago, I would only be able to kick them up like about a couple inches. And yesterday she was telling me, I want you to raise your legs super high. So she's pushing me, man. It hurts. But the next day, you kind of feel like you've made some strides, but it's still a ways away, man.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's working.
It's actually hurting right now.
Is it?
Well, yeah, I got to figure out a more comfortable way.
Well,
this won't be a frequent appearance. I won't be doing this too frequently just because I have to squirm and move and who knows what. But What?
Sorry, just update. Everyone's weighed in, but Lentz is off the card due to medical issues. Okay. Marco Beltran, Matt Schnell being moved from Fight Pass to the FX prelims. Only fighter left to weigh in after Pro Gonzalez just barely made weight with the curtain is now we're waiting for Kevin Lee. That's it. That's the update.
That sucks. I was looking forward to
that
that
fight. I thought it was to say Kevin. There was problems with Kevin. So when I heard Lentz, I was like, oh, okay. But I don't know Link that well. Too bad. You know, what was it? What
fun?
What kind of issues were they?
I'm sure it was weight cut related because he's had issues with that before, which is why he moved it to 155 in the first place. But I guess now he's having trouble with that. So.
Wow. So Brooks has to get paid, right? He made it to the weigh-ins.
Hope so.
This is late notice, and
what do
you think it boils down to, guys? Nowadays, what does it boil down to?
The UFC
not to pick on
Habib.
Not to pick on Habib, but do you think that the fighters just play with fire and at camp they have that meal that they shouldn't have, and then it comes back to haunt them, or maybe two of those meals that we don't hear about?
I think it's just I honestly think a lot of it has to do with getting older.
Yeah.
On some guys. I think it just catches them by surprise.
Because Nick Lentz was with Dolce for many years, so he had, I think, the diet down. And I heard he really subscribed to it year round. He wasn't just the guy that did it during camp. So who knows? I mean, I hope the best for the kid. I don't know what the UFC will make him do, but I've seen Nick up close, and he doesn't have 70 stature.
Yep. Yeah.
There's a reason he went to 45 because he really doesn't have 55 stature when you think of some of the bigger kids at 55. But he's a little thicker.
Yep.
But what do you do? He's just, I don't know.
But it's your career, right? It's what you have to put the most attention towards. So whatever that is, whatever punishment you put yourself through, or it's worth it, right? To be able to fight and get that money. Now he doesn't get that money. That's got to sting.
True.
Yeah, he's been at it for a minute, and it stinks too because Will Brooks, probably needed a paycheck. If you look at when the time his last fight was, he's coming off two losses, and apparently there's some personal beef. There were some really ugly things being said on Twitter from Nick Lentz's part, especially.
What's he saying?
It was from a while ago, but it got into the racial territory, I guess you could say.
Oh, I thought it could.
So it just was like a fight that was like, not that you like seeing grudge matches or anything, but this sounded like a legitimate grudge match. You don't
like seeing grudge matches?
I like it.
Me too.
I don't like things getting too ugly to the point where racial stuff's getting tossed. But that was a legitimate grudge match that was we lost. So. Well.
If it wasn't for this job, you don't know how many times I'd be going, "What's up now, partner?" You know what I mean? Because I kind of choose sides a little bit. I'm public with some of them, but with most of them, I can tell some Facebook relationships.
On Twitter with fighters?
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, there's some out there that you respect because they're professional athletes. We cover them or whatever. But because, I've said it many times, Goz and I came through the fanboy stage. So everybody's MySpacing and Facebook friend, and some add us. Mostly we add them. But then you see people's true colors, and there's some you just wind up saying, "Wow, that's someone that."
I like being free.
If it wasn't for this, you know what? I'm gonna start unfollowing dude on Facebook. What that means, we're still friends, but I just don't want to hear what you got to post. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of chronic posters, and there's I don't know. I don't want to get all into energy and vibes.
It's true. No, it's definitely true. Especially in our job, before our show, we have to go on social media.
Yeah.
And there's been times where I just get that negative energy, and it compiles, and it messes up my day. I come into the show kind of like, I don't need that. I like to be upbeat.
Alton from El Paso. Mm-hmm. Lubbock or El Paso?
El Paso,
yeah. He told me, he goes, the best advice I can give you is stay off for 2 or 3 days and just cleanse your soul. And you'll see, he goes, it really benefits 2 or 3 days and then come back. He goes, I'm not saying to just get away from it altogether, but take 2-3 days off. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, maybe, but it's tough because of the job. But for the most part, I get what he's saying, man. There's just some people that I don't know. Yeah, it sucks. What do we have?
Well, name some names, George.
15 minutes left.
Who's on your
all right. Negative energy, or what do we call it?
Yeah, just somebody that when you see his post or her post, you go, here we go. This is the here we go team. Better not be Cormier because he's walking up right now. By the way, Cormier's never seen the new studio, so he's probably tripping right now.
He hasn't?
I don't think so.
No. I would say, I'm not going to dodge the question. You want me to pick a junkie, don't you?
Yeah, of course. It's going to be funny.
Well, he makes a good recovery because he has thick skin, but that Jason Ford, man, he riles things up. So.
Yeah. What's up, Don? How are you?
What's up, man?
Let's take a commercial?
Yeah, let's take a commercial. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We got Daniel Cormier, UFC light heavyweight, in the house, and we'll be right back to wrap it up with him.
kicked off the set of The Fast and the Furious for being too loud and too good-looking. Once again, here's Gorgeous George and Goes.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio gives you the best fantasy football analysis. They'll tell you which players you need to have in your lineup and learn how to make winning trades. Get expert fantasy football advice now more than ever on Sirius 210, XM87, and on the SiriusXM app. I want to welcome to the show Daniel Cormier, the UFC light heavyweight champion, also a former Strikeforce Grand Prix heavyweight champion, also an Olympian for the United States of America, also a Pan American Games gold medalist, a World Championships bronze medalist, an NC2A Division I All American. Shut up! I'm telling people nice things about Father of the Year.
You're not even reading it. It's kind of impressive that you just kind of know that.
Oh, sorry.
I appreciate you. With the knowledge and the homework that you've done.
Oh, well, thank you. And, of course, Fox Sports.
I love your shirt.
Host of UFC
Thanks, man.
Tonight and a Fox Sports analyst.
Yes, thank you.
The multi-talented Daniel Cormier. Why are you standing so far away from him?
He's scared of me now because, remember what happened last time I was here?
I'm trying to make
one
room
time
so
when
he
I was
could
here,
play
you know what
here.
happened? Torture rack, and now he's, like, tiny, so I'll
he's
break his
cramping
ass
me.
down.
Look at me. I'm backed up
Well,
here.
I'm trying to make room so that people can see Daniel play the video game. I could stand over here.
Goes is all backing it up.
Jesus.
He don't have much to back up anymore, but he's backing up what he's got.
So the last time you tortured racked him, he was 50 pounds heavier.
I know. He's a tiny man now. He
Maybe
looks
even
good.
more.
Now you could grab him like Thunder Lips and throw him into the crowd.
Oh, man.
Like
the
a
ultimate meatball?
Yeah, the ultimate meatball.
Maybe I could, do the ultimate press this time.
Over
the head. The Ultimate Warrior. Remember, I throw you to the ropes, lift you up, press you a couple times. Ding, ding,
so we're going to see how far we can get in Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
All right.
Here comes.
This dude said Super Macho Man. Then
I never
Sandman.
said. I said Sandman. He's right before Macho Man.
So who's this right here? Glass Joe?
This is Glass Joe. Yeah, he's not very good. Hey, do I just press down the block or do I
down?
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to block against Glass Joe.
Well, I know, but it's just been a while,
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on this stream. I think we're only down to. Is it Kevin Lee? That's it, guys.
That's all.
Just
we're
one fighter. Okay, and he hasn't weighed in yet, right?
Not yet, man. It's.
We got 9 minutes. He's gonna have to come out.
He's got to do something.
You know anything?
No. Almost. Like, wait.
Hey, we're gonna find out in 8 minutes anyway. Is there something?
What was scary was that yesterday he said something to the effect of he's had like 17 pounds to lose or something, right?
Yeah.
And he said I'm no bitch or something like that, So it's
But he says he's done worse. And
most wrestlers have, right? Most wrestlers have been in situations where we've had to cut a ton of weight last minute. It's not ideal going into your first 5-round fight, but we'll see,
But your body's constantly changing, and stuff like stress can affect that. He's in a very stressful situation.
Well,
Could
it's
it
much
be something
different.
as simple as that?
It's much different, and I watch him and Tony on UFC Tonight, my show on Fox Sports 1 every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. They were arguing. He started to get a bit frustrated, So it's like Tony just kept talking, and you could tell that it was frustrating him. And because it frustrated him, maybe he's like, God, I really want to take it to this dude. And when that emotional starts becoming a part of it, it's very dangerous. Hey, against him, you got to be careful. He's not as tough as some of the guys we're getting into, but he's good, man.
All right,
punch him in the belly when he kind of goes down to uppercut you.
Let's see here.
Move. Punch.
In the belly?
What are you doing in the face? Punch.
All right, I got you.
There you go.
Oh, go taking it to him. What's the name of that character?
Von Kaiser.
Von Kaiser. Yeah, he's not so good.
All right.
I don't know if this game would be okay, like today. It's gonna kind of be really tiptoeing the line with some of these names.
The cornermen are terrible.
Some of these names are kind of tiptoeing the line,
What do you think of that, Daniel? The fact that times have changed. We have to be careful with
everything.
What we say, what we think, what we write, what we text. Jokes like is the United States too uptight?
I was playing a video game the other day called Mafia 3. And there was a real disclaimer because they said they wanted to give you the feel of Louisiana in the 40s and 50s, when in the time setting that the game was actually supposed to be. And
you're doing this online with an audience that can hear you?
No, I'm playing the campaign mode, right?
Right.
And the campaign mode goes, you're going to hear things that people could feel are sensitive, so you hear like the N-word and like
really?
Yeah,
really?
But they had to let you know, because it's not something that's normal. Like you get guys like Piston Honda and E Honda because he's Asian on Street Fighter. It's like, Or the Russian guy was Zangief, and he just was like every stereotype
Popinski.
you thought of a Russian was the guy. You know, so it's Give it back, bud. Stop trying to hog it. I'm fighting for the title. You know,
Okay.
I got the title fight. So, yeah, you know, it's just the world's different, man. The world's different.
You know when I noticed that you have to think a little
See?
is when you have the. All right, who's this guy?
It's Piston
That's
Honda.
Piston
Piston
Honda.
Honda. Okay.
Yeah, he's Asian guy.
He's
you
a
know?
big guy, huh?
That's one thing, you know. So it's like they didn't even bother to like, you know. Most people try to say like Asian guys are smaller guys, but Piston Honda's a really big Asian guy.
Yeah. All right.
It's like a
So
The one time I noticed that I wouldn't say you squirm, but it looks like you really give it some thought is in the setting of what are those hashtag press conferences? You know, where you're all sitting there in the dais
all that stuff.
and things start up or whatever. Because, like, especially you know in your build-ups with the Jones fight, that's usually the ones where there was a lot of heat. But I can tell there's like a G side of you that still wants to come out from time to time, and then there's Fox Sports, Daniel Cormier with the tie.
Yeah, you have to.
You
be
know
careful.
what I mean? Father of two and
Yeah.
everything. So how hard is it to like give that extra thought of what you want to say, and is it uncomfortable or?
Well, sometimes you want to kind of just really let loose, you know. And when you just let loose like that, you tend to say things. That's why this whole thing that's going on with Anthony Johnson right now, right? It's from a podcast. So it's from my podcast. And that's just the
Talking
setting.
Talker.
Yes, the Talking Talker. It's so comfortable, right? There is nobody going rap, you know, or a whole bunch of people like in the arena to stop you from going too far. So you're doing it on these podcasts. So yeah, you are aware of it, and in the pre-fight build-up, you're definitely wanting to kind of just let loose and let go at your opponents, and you got to be careful, you know. So I think about it, but I try to kind of just be myself.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. We got 90 seconds before this first hour's up. And more importantly, we have about less than 4 minutes before Kevin Lee can officially weigh in.
It's crazy.
He's probably going to push it to the end. Goes was saying, could he just be messing with everybody? I don't know. I would think
He's
it'd be
got
more
that
valuable
personality,
to
man.
start getting fluids in you than
I think
messing with people.
Listen, most guys don't weigh in late unless they have to.
Yeah.
Nobody's waiting. Look, even at Buffalo, when I really had a tough time making weight, in Buffalo, I would have much rather been up there at 9 a.m. I didn't want to push myself for another 2 hours. Or
Are you talking about the first time or the second time when you lost the
So,
miraculous
yeah, well,
1.5?
you know, listen,
I'm just kidding.
gotta
Hey,
use
we're
the
gonna
bathroom,
go
you
to,
know?
we're gonna go to
Sometimes you gotta
commercial.
still use the bathroom.
We're gonna go to commercial. You're listening to MMAjunkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93, UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier in our studio, and we'll keep tabs on Kevin Lee. We'll be right back, folks.
crazy.
Waiting for, where's he at? Alright, start. You guys tell me when Tony gets ready to,
Yeah, you can just keep it on and stand here.
I can keep it on?
Yeah, keep it on and just stand here.
Start the game.
Oh!
What?
All right, folks, it's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. We're going to get right into it. Kevin Lee is walking up to the scale. The towel is out, so the draws are going to come down. He's wiping off a bunch of sweat. He's now stepping on to the scale. Let's see what we hear. Quiet, 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 quiet. Pictures are being taken. The director of NSAC, Bob Bennett, is there. He hasn't said anything yet.
His head like he did it.
He hasn't said anything yet. Oh, come on, man. Just give us a number.
He's
Quiet.
shaking his head like he's good.
Come on. Come on. Lee is pumping his fist.
Pumping his fist like he's doing it.
Come on, give us
Let's
a title
go.
fight.
Come on.
Let's see how much of a stickler this guy is for the scale.
156.
156.
156.
Right
Lee
down
is
to the limit.
obviously disappointed.
Wait, was he just thinking maybe that he always weighs at 156?
He knows. He knows that a title fight has to be 55.
There's no way he can make it now. I mean, he's got a minute, right? What time
No, that's it. The cutoff is the 11th. Oh, no. For the title fight, you get the 2 hours, don't you?
That was in New York.
Only in New York?
That was in New
I
York.
did mention that certain states have different rules. So,
This guy right here, Don Flamenco?
Uh-huh.
all right. What do we do here? Well, we're going to continue with the show. And I guess, somebody keep an eye on social media and see. Here, hold on a second. Any fighter has up to 1 hour
Continue. You're good.
to lose 2 pounds.
Go ahead.
He's at 156. He has 1 pound to lose.
Oh, he'll be good then. There you go.
Okay, so that's the important thing. Bob Bennett, the Nevada State Athletic Commissioner, is still talking, but he did explain the rule. He'll have 1 hour to lose 2 pounds because they wouldn't want him losing any more than that. So
But he's only a pound overweight.
He's
so
only a pound over.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's only a pound over, so.
All right, DC.
1 hour and a pound.
How
that's
far
all.
is that a setback? If Tony weighed in an hour ago, and Kevin Lee will come back in a half hour and an hour, and he'll make it, and we'll probably have our title fight.
Yes.
Those 2 hours, how much of an advantage does Ferguson have? Can Lee catch him? He's younger. Is it going to make a big, should we make a big deal out of it, or just move on, knowing that they're both probably going to make, or Lee will make weight. They'll both fight for a world title.
It just tells you that the weight cut was harder for Kevin. I mean, and that's something that cannot be looked past, but you won't see it unless the fight goes real long, right? So when the guy has tough weight cuts early in the fight, it doesn't really seem that big a deal. But as the fight goes long, we start getting into the end of round 3, round 4, round 5. If the weight cut was really tough, it'll start to show itself. So yeah, it's something.
If your fight in Buffalo had gone longer,
you would have started to see. Yes, you would have started to see me struggle a little bit more
round
because
3, 4, 5, whereabouts.
So here's the difference. In the Gustafsson fight, the first Gustafsson fight, I had a phenomenal weight cut. So in round 5, I was still going at a really high pace. But in the second Rumble fight, you can see after the first round, I wasn't exhausted, but I was already breathing much heavier than I normally start to breathe. I felt like I was breathing at like I was in the third round already because of the weight cut. I felt like by the time the second round started, I felt like I was breathing as if I was in the third round.
Strategy change overnight, basically, knowing that?
No, but you actually don't imagine that it's gonna be an issue, right? You don't. I'm trying to pay attention. Hold on.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's see if we can get you past Bald Bull or whoever that might be.
Oh, it's over now. He's going down. Oh wait, I thought you just get to punch him in the stomach the whole time.
I don't know. Who is that? Bald Bull?
No, that's
King Hippo.
King Hippo. Okay.
Damn, Ball Bull would be
He's
pissed
tough.
if you heard that, George.
We'll get to
Ball Bull's in shape. King Hippo's not in shape.
all right, folks. So let me update you if you're just tuning in. Kevin Lee did weigh in right at 11 o'clock. It's a 2-hour weigh-in window, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time here in Las Vegas. Kevin Lee went up. Immediately they had the towel out. Then he was going to be a close call. Bob Bennett was toying with the scale, and it looked like we were going to have a title fight, an official title fight. Kevin Lee was pumping his fist, but he came back with 156. So seconds later, Bob Bennett clarified to the media that was there present, and of course us watching here on MMA Junkie, that he has up to 1 hour to lose 2 pounds. And since he's at 156 and only has to lose the 1 pound, he's within the parameters of what the Nevada State Athletic Commission will allow. And Daniel Cormier, who's been in a situation like this, he's telling us that should be no problem. Pretty easy there for him.
Yeah, for him to make the weight is not going to be that bad. I mean, it's going to suck for Kevin. I mean, he is already depleted. You got to imagine, because he's been cutting weight.
So don't throw on any plastics. What? Just run? Walk?
No, he's not running. At this point, there's no more running.
Okay.
Right? You're so depleted. You're so dehydrated. You're not running. They're going to drag him to a sauna. They're going to just sit him down and hope to sit off the last pound. Maybe in his chair, rock back and forth, move his arms, something to get your body moving. But you don't have the energy to jump on the treadmill at 1 pound overweight anymore. You're past that. Or they may just take him back to the hotel, stick him in a hot bath again to draw off the last pound. But he's not working this pound off. This pound's going to come off, but it's going to come off through sitting, some type of sitting.
So don't just let it happen within the hour.
Yeah, just take your time.
Don't let him build up any stress.
If you go in that hot bath for 10, 15 minutes, even if you're depleted, you're gonna lose a pound. So it's just gonna be a matter of them trying to keep his mind right, like try to keep him good up top. You know, like don't let the head go, because once the mind goes, it tells you I can't do this regardless of what happens. No matter what you do for me, no matter how comfortable you try to make this for me, it won't happen. So they have to try to maintain his mind, you know. So in the hot bath, while the body's hot and sweating, try to keep the head a little bit cooler by keeping it out of the tub.
All right. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and I'm sure by the end of the show we will know what the dealio is. All right. So you brought up Johnson earlier.
Yeah.
Crybaby ass. I think he retorted back to you.
Yeah, he did.
Is there anything you want to say back, or I guess in terms of clearing it up, or just, you know, do you care if you're cool with Anthony?
Down.
At one point, he was in the West Coast, and I believe he was an AKA guy. I just don't know if that
he was
when you were there or not.
He was in San Jose for a while.
Right.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? So, like you said about the press conferences, right? There's like a version of you that tries to really be careful with what you're saying, version that doesn't. And there's two sides to everybody, right? So, there's a part of me that's I'm ultra competitive. There's a part of me that so there's just a different part of me, right? So I can be, if I feel like a guy's a threat or any type of thing, I really want to kind of attack him, right? And if I feel like I'm getting disrespected in any way, I really want to attack him. So yesterday, I actually
at the World MMA Awards in the Palms parking lot.
Exactly.
I saw that.
So yesterday, after Rumble put that post up, I tweeted him. But then I texted him, like, because I was mad. Like, I'm mad now. I want to fight. But the reality is, I texted him and I said some things that weren't very cool, you know. But then I was talking to somebody that means a lot to me, and they said, "Why are you so mad? You started it. You said stuff. You're mad at him." So the reality is, I was wrong. You know, I shouldn't have called him soft, but I thought I didn't like the action. But why do I expect so much out of him? You know, like, why do I expect him to not be able to be respectful and still compete at the highest level of sport? So I walk it back a little bit. I was wrong. I should not have said anything about him being soft. Everybody does not have to view competition like I do. And I think that's why if he wants to be friends with him and be nice and cordial, then fine. What does that matter to me? But I guess everybody.
You didn't really think he exchanged info?
No, I just it just like, I mean, what could he possibly have told him? Honestly, because I've won the 2 fights against him. But I just didn't like seeing them hugging and stuff. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is a guy you may fight at some point. I didn't like when they did that joke at the press conference when they were going to fight each other, because it's not something I can see myself doing. But everybody doesn't have to view competition as I do, you know, and I was wrong, you know, and it took me talking to Ali Abdelaziz, of all people, to kind of...
Oh, Tony Ferguson's best friend.
Yeah, but Ali was like, you guys are, you know, what the hell? You know, it's like, he was right, you know. And But I talked to somebody last night, you know, and my wife even said it. She goes, I get it. You're a man. You're from Louisiana. You don't like to be disrespected. So when you feel a challenge, you go at it head on. But she goes, you're wrong. She goes, you didn't have to say that about him in the first place. What was the point? You won both fights. But again, it's just me looking at competition a certain way, and I guess just expecting people to do it too, and it really doesn't have to be that way.
You think he'll be back, by the way?
I think the bigger issue for me was just not even the thing with Jones. It was just like, man, I wish he would have just like thought about it a little bit more before he made that decision. Look, I said it before. I hope he comes back because he should be fighting. He's that good.
Yeah.
But it was just so quick. It seemed like you can press the button all you want. You ain't getting up.
I know.
It just seemed like it should have took a little more time in regards to making a decision. But who am I to pick when he retires? I mean, I just got a different way of viewing stuff, man. And I guess that's why I am who I am.
You think he'll be back, though, right?
I do believe he'll fight again.
As a heavyweight?
Maybe. Yeah. Look,
I like him as a light heavyweight, personally.
I do, too. But
at heavyweight, the power won't be as significant. He won't be able to knock those big dudes out as easy as he does.
Even though he beat Andre, he told us, he goes, heavyweights fucking hit hard.
Yeah, it's different. You know, it's different.
So you could just, there was this look on him like, why mess with that when, you know,
he's just
205 is
dudes.
my division. So
I got to talk to Rumble.
What about you?
I need to talk to Rumble and try to either apologize or make it right in some way, shape, or form.
Look in the camera.
The reality is,
get recaps. Tell me right now what you want to
the reality is, I was wrong. You know, I mean, not everybody should view competition like I do. So to Anthony Johnson, I apologize. I should not have said that. I should not have said that. I should not have said that. And because I said it, I have to truly expect him to respond. And he did. And because he responded, I should not try to fight him in the streets of Las Vegas. And I got to be better than that. There are times where the old Louisiana Cajun, the coon ass is what they call him down there, little mean kid. They sometimes that comes out.
Yeah.
And I got to be careful with it.
Is that something you feel like you can correct, or is that just the party?
I think it's just a part of who I am. The upbringing, the where I was raised and born. I mean, when I was growing up, man, there were times where you get picked on and you go to tell mom, like, I got beat up. She doesn't grab you and hug you. She haul your ass outside and make you fight that kid. That's the type of environment that we grew up in. I watched one of my friends get beat up so bad. The kid was older and the kid was just stronger and he was throwing him around. But PJ couldn't not fight. His mom would not allow it. He had to stand up for himself because at some point he was going to be a man, and as a man he had to stand up for himself.
PJ, the bully or your friend?
PJ's my best friend.
You remember the bully's name? Was he like Buddy or something like that?
No, the one that bullied me was Gilbert. It was Gilbert. Yeah, Gilbert Francis.
That kind of sounds like a bully name.
Yeah, right? He was bad. He was so bad. He was bad. He was small too. Like, he was tiny. He's still small.
Really?
And still thinks he can bully me to this day. He still sees me as the same little kid. He tried to bully me a few years ago.
Sounds like Rosendo. I think he thinks he can get you too, right?
Rosendo's the worst. I love him though.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude. We met him here in Vegas.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I love that guy. He's my boxing coach. He's my friend. But yeah, I gotta do better.
Embedded on Fight Week is funny just to see you two go at it.
I mess with him the whole time.
Yeah,
he's my guy.
George had mentioned kids and upbringing. You just talked a little bit about how you were brought up. It's a different time, a different era. How are you going to approach these situations when they have your kids? Is Daniel going to go, get your ass out there? Or
I've told him. So I've had a few situations where I've had to really take a step back. Like, once he was getting beat up bad in wrestling when he first started, and there was a kid that just was strong and just mean. And he was choking Daniel, and he was like, Daniel was crying. And I wanted to save him, but I didn't. And my nutritionist had to get up and leave because it bothered him so much seeing it. Because Daniel's a sweet kid. But I know he needs to learn those lessons, right? He has to learn those lessons where He's going to deal with stuff like that. There are always going to be people in his life that are going to be like that. So I had to watch him take his whipping. And then I explained to him afterwards, I go, hey, that's a lesson, Pop. You have to learn and get better so that when this happens and it presents itself again, you know how to stand for yourself and defend yourself. All I can try to teach him is how to be a man, right? That's my job. That's what I owe my son. How do you become the best man that you can be? He'll learn his hard lessons. I'll make things easy too, but he has to learn those lessons, man. And he is. You know, he's gotten a lot better.
Is it tougher for a boy like yours, because he's a little bit more privileged, you know?
Yeah.
Versus you came from a rougher.
Yeah.
Sometimes the streets is your education. It toughens you up.
Yeah.
You'll probably have to pull out a little bit of that.
Yeah, to show him. But see, my family, a lot of my family, they still live in the same type of environment. So when we go to Louisiana, it's the same. It's the house that I grew up in was still the same house that my mom was living in 6 months ago, right? So he sees his cousins and stuff. But I was telling my friend a story this morning on the way to the airport because my boy plays football now, and they were playing sharks and minnows. That's how they were teaching him how to tackle. But my son was just running straight, trying to get from one side of the field to the other because it makes sense, right? The straight line is the best way. Well, that's not how it works in football. You've got to move. You've got to juke. You've got to be elusive. And I walk up to him and I go, Dan, why are you just walking straight, bud? I go, you got to juke. And he goes, Dad, you never told me how to juke. And I'm like, what? I was like, that's kind of something that I think you're just supposed to know. But times are different, right? I learned to juke and move around just being in the yard, playing with my friends. Right? Yes, exactly. Whereas nowadays, kids don't do that nearly as much as they used to. So now I'm having to teach them that type of stuff, right? So all I can do is just give him the lessons that I know, and then he's going to take it from where he is. Now, the growth that this young man has shown since the football season started to now, unbelievable. In the wrestling, too. You know, so he's learning and teaching himself also, but I have to give him as much as I can, and then we take him to Louisiana. You know, his mom and we take him home. And when he goes home, he's with his cousins and the people that are still living in that same type of environment, and it'll teach him and his sister also learn some of the tough lessons that I learned as a kid.
So check this out. Aside from the apology he sent over to Rumble, I thought it was pretty interesting to hear. And were you going to talk about this, his flight back to San Jose?
No.
Okay, so let me bring this up. Daniel came to town. When did you come? Tuesday, Wednesday?
No, actually, I came. I was at UFC Tonight on Wednesday, right? So I was in LA, yeah. Okay. Then went home on Wednesday, and came here on Thursday morning because I had to do some voiceover stuff for the fight.
And then you flew home again?
And then I flew home again
for a practice for his kids' practice. Like since I'm a dad, I'm like, what's this fool doing? Is this a practice?
Well,
but I respect that. Like that was pretty cool that you did that. That's commitment, dog. Well, I really have to give you props on that.
I'm going to miss his game Saturday, so I was trying to be there for practice. And also, his sister was sick.
Yeah.
So for Mom to have to go to practice with Daniel, but his sister has to stay home with my nephew, right, for a little bit. She'd have to drop him to practice, go back to get his sister who's sick, and then take both of them to get him from practice at 7:30. So I was like, well, that's a little bit much. And plus, we don't like to leave our kids by themselves, right? So we don't really drop him off. Like, so he never goes to practice and just stays by himself. Someone's always with him. And so I went home and I went to practice. I made it, and he was excited to see me, obviously, because I missed practice Wednesday because I was at UFC Tonight, and then I was there yesterday. So he was excited to see me at practice, and then I got to stay at home with my family, my wife and my daughter, make sure she's healthy and she's okay, which Pinterest is the best thing ever. Pinterest told us what to put on my daughter. She had a fever. We gave her medicine, and Pinterest said put some peppermint oil and something else, and don't know how, but her fever dropped in the middle of the night last night, and so got on the flight this morning at 6:30.
You should check out Pinterest for that upper inner thigh rash.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know so you can put it on your chin, too.
All right, what were we going to say?
Well, I was going to say, because of the day and age that we're in today, the three of us, when we were your son's age, we didn't have phones. We didn't have none of that. It's very easy probably for maybe like the Rumble story for your kid to be able to that pop up on his phone.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have to go through with that a lot, and how do you?
He doesn't.
How does that happen?
So, essentially, my son's phone, him and my daughter, their phones are for two things. My boy plays like Candy Crush and like those games. motorcycle thing, and my daughter like watches YouTube Kids. That's it. Like that's all they have. They have mom, dad, and they have like YouTube Kids and whatever apps. And I'm not spoiling them. Metro PCS gives us phones, so I don't even pay for them. So if I didn't, they probably wouldn't have phones. But he doesn't really like pay much attention to that stuff. I tell people the hardest part of my job is Houston. Whenever I'm beat to shit from Gustafson and my face is just battered and I can't walk because my legs hurt. And my daughter walks in the next morning and she's like,
I thought
"What
you
happened?"
fucked him up, actually.
I was beat up pretty bad.
Really?
But yeah, I was beat up bad.
Okay. That was one of my favorite fights you ever had.
Yeah, it was a great fight. It was a hard fight.
No,
but
a lot of people didn't think you could strike with him that long.
Yeah,
but you struck a lot
the whole time.
Outstruck, yeah.
Yeah, and that was tough. My daughter coming in at 4.5 years old and going, "What's wrong with my dad?"
Yeah.
And then after the fight with Jones in July, we're in the hotel room and my kids and my wife are sleeping in the bed, and I'm sleeping on the pull-out couch. And I'm still very disappointed. I'm still crying, and I'm laying there just still really just so disappointed. And I wake up the next morning, and I've got my back to him, right, because I don't want the kids to really – I'm not ready to face my kids yet. I don't know, what I'm going to say,
Right.
So I hear my son, and he's shaking his mom, and he's all, "Mom?" And she's like, "Yes, Daniel." And he's like, "Did Dad win?" But he's saying it like super low because they're a bit afraid of Jones because they know he beat me the first time. Mm-hmm. So, and when I heard that, she had to tell him, that really made the waterworks started to fly then. That's been the hardest part of anything, was hearing my son ask his mom that. And then immediately getting up and coming in, just laying next to me and just kind of like hugging me.
Wow.
But I couldn't really face him. Like I just kept my back turned because I was crying, and I'm trying not to let him see that too much.
Right.
So it's hard, man. Being a dad's hard. Being a dad in a fight is hard because by the time I walk to the octagon, they're sleeping every time. Right? It's so late. I don't fight till 10 o'clock. My kids are in bed by 9. Mm-hmm. So they only wake up the next morning to kind of hear the result. And when he didn't see me up, I guess he kind of figured something was different. So,
yeah. Now that you've had a few weeks to process everything going on with Jones, I mean, you left it at let the due process play out. Mm-hmm. But you are the light heavyweight champ. The belt is there. I look, and it's 19-1 is your record.
Yeah.
What do you feel towards him now?
So there's like two sides, Like, it's like I feel like obviously we should let due process serve, play itself out and everything. And I worry about the human factor because he is a father too and has a family. But there's a part of me that's still pissed off, Like,
yeah.
Obviously, like, how do you not be pissed off whenever something like that happens and you feel like, man, did I really get a fair shake, Mm-hmm. He won the fight. I mean, that's me, the competitor. He won the fight, So, I have a lot of people that truly care about me, and they tell me stuff like, "No, it doesn't," And some of the fighters even here, like the fighters, they come up to me and they tell me, "No, you didn't." Beneil Dariush just was like mad. He was like, "I'm so mad that you said that you had to accept the belt back. That's stupid. You never lost it if you didn't get a fair shake." He's like just getting out of weigh-ins, and he's fired up because he's like, "Why are you down on yourself?" But again, everybody doesn't look at competition like I do. So for me, I lost the fight. I was there. July 29, he beat me. And they can say whatever they want to say and whatever, but I lost. That's just who I am. I'm not going to. You're right.
And even if the process were to play out and
he's going to be, he's still going to, that's going to happen, know. That B sample thing was never going to come back different.
I'm not an expert on this, but you don't look at it as whatever he took that enhanced his performance, whether it was a workout he was able to get to that you weren't able to get to, or a recovery that he had that you may not have been. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the fair shake part that a lot of people say.
I think in most of those things, like if there's talking to some of these guys that have said stuff about these things and the shelf life or the life that it stays in your body. These things are so fast acting, like some of these drugs. If that's the case and it allowed for you to train longer and train harder, it sucks, because at 38, like, I work hard, I do a lot, and it would feel good to wake up and not feel like death.
Right.
Some days come Wednesday, like, oh my God, like,
or maybe you can't pick up your kid that day or something. I
didn't know that you could be this sore. Like, my goodness, like my ass is sore, like the butt cheek. When do you get sore in the butt cheek? It was like, it happens, and if you feel like you have to do something like that, then it's unfortunate, because I don't believe that he needed to. I think he's that good. Yeah. But how do you say that when all these things? I mean, we fought twice. We fought twice. We were scheduled 5 times. We got close to the fights 3 times. And in those 3 circumstances, he tested positive for something. And someone said that during the first fight, when the cocaine test came out, which should not have been made public, that because the TE ratio was so jacked, probably would have been flagged in. So that's messed up. Mm-hmm. That's a bad thought. That's something that really bugs me.
And it sucks because, like you said, he's so talented.
Just has everything.
That,
you got all the physical advantages. I mean, you're sick.
I don't have it up here, though. That's a big part of it.
That's a big part of it. Is this? I swear, man. Like I look at I've seen the finish of the fight, and right before he kicks me, you see us kind of like we're like face to face. He looks so much bigger than me. It's unbelievable that I'm the guy coming from a weight class above, because he looks so much bigger. And it's like you have so many physical advantages over me. All I have is my hard work, All I have is my hard work, my God-given ability to try to push forward. I mean, I can only fight one way because I'm only 5'11", or, give a little bit. I can only fight one way. I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to be coming forward. I can only fight that way. You can do so many things, Yeah. I can't jump off the side of an octagon like Anthony Pettis. I can't do none of that stuff. I can go try to take you down. I can stand and strike with you, and I can grapple with you. I can't do spinning back kicks and jumping elbows. I don't do any of that. So to feel that you would have to do something extra to beat me with what I bring to the table kind of sucks.
When all this went down, you took the high road, as most people would say.
Yes.
How long did it take you? Is that just the way you felt, or did you have to process things and get to that point?
It's your initial thought. It's like, man.
A lot of people said you had every right to come right back at him.
You do have. That he said you do, and for everything that you've done. But after that fight, I was at my lowest, and he actually showed compassion too. He was very. He's very good in that instance.
And you know what? I really feel like he meant everything he said that night.
I don't believe that was putting on. I felt like
he said he would strive to be the man that you are.
My coaches said that after in the back. When I was seeing the doctor and stuff, he still talked to them. So obviously he was trying to do something different.
Yeah.
But you just look, man. You can pass every test. You just cannot fail one. You can't. It's not part of the game. You don't get to make those types of mistakes.
What's next? Volkan, I think, won the sweepstakes. There was a little social media thing going on.
I'm gonna fight Volkan.
All right.
You
gonna make it past 2 minutes? Because he doesn't think it's gonna.
He's got no time. That's actually a pretty cool little deal, right? I've got no time. He's like this. Mm-hmm. Why don't I have some shit like that? Jimmy Manuel was all like, 1 punch, 1 kill. Like, these guys come up with these cool catchphrases. Where the fuck's my catchphrase? Right? I used to have one, like, embrace the grind. That was cool.
Yeah.
Mike Goldberg left, and now nobody says it anymore. Maybe I'll, like, voice over a whole bunch of that shit for myself, so that when I'm on, they can, like, hit the button, and it'll say it. Maybe I got to do something. Because
how about a smash and dash? I'm a smash and dash.
What's that?
Yeah, smash and then dash out of that.
That sounds like you're robbing a 7-Eleven or something like that.
What do you want from me?
That's good.
It's been like a minute.
Good. That's good.
Yeah. In a way,
but these guys like.
But you need rest, right?
So I went to the doctor.
That's a serious thing in Anaheim. And
I went to the doctor, and he advised me to take the rest of the year off because I started to contemplate fighting at the end of December. Because, I'm a fighter.
Right.
I'm like, man, let me fight. And he's like, well, I would advise you to take some time.
Yeah.
You're 38. You fought twice this year already. And you've had 2 training camps, long, hard training camps. I think you should wait till next year. So.
And the residuals are coming in.
That's what I was.
Good payday, right?
How addicting are those?
It was a great payday.
Yeah.
I mean, these last few have been.
Yeah. $5 million.
These last few have been very nice.
$2 million. 2.8.
I will never tell you.
So I'm reading you. You don't have to tell me. I'm just reading you. I know it wasn't 5. It was 2.8, nice. I think. It
was nice. UFC 200, like, there's still residual checks from UFC 200 right now. So,
oh, shit.
I swear, man, that was a big one. So, just kind of trickles in. You got to.
I want you to make $10 million a fight, honestly.
I would love to, but
because yours is a process of a build-up, and not just with Jones. I mean, obviously, things got heated with Manuel. He was here in our studio when stuff was, some chirping was going on, but it just seems like there's a nice build-up to your fights, and then you get to the fights, and then your fights, some of those are fucking wars, man.
Yeah.
So
and that's the fight. We forget about what it takes to get there.
Right.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Sometimes that's the war.
I feel like you're really worth that type of money.
Well, I appreciate it. I trust me. Every time I fight, I ask for more. I never just go, okay, that's enough. If they say they're going to give me X amount of dollars, I almost dropped the number there. I say, how come I can't have this amount of dollars?
Right.
So.
All right. Let's take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93, UFC Light Heavyweight. Champion Daniel Cormier is here in studio with us, so stay close. We'll be right back.
When they go.
Seen the Michael Jackson show?
They are the Wright brothers of mixed martial arts. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
SiriusXM presents an exclusive subscriber-only event, The Eagles, live at the Grand Ole Opry. You can win a trip to Nashville and front row tickets. For more information and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Eagles before October 19th. No additional purchase necessary. UFC light heavyweight champion and Fox Sports analyst, host of UFC Tonight, Daniel Cormier, joining us here in studio. Let's blast through some calls. The best call will get a free stream for UFC 216, courtesy of Fight TV. So who do we have?
Are you referring to me right now?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, he's been waiting for a while, and he wants to ask DC a question, so right now we got Russ in Boston.
What's up, Russ? How you doing?
I know this guy.
Doing good. What's going on, guys?
Not much, man.
What's up, Russ? How you doing, bud?
What's up, buddy? I'm good. I seen you, what was it, in Dallas right before your wedding, so congrats on that, man.
Thank you.
Looks like everything went great.
Went awesome.
Hey, DC, it looks it, man. Hey, I know you said you want to fight Vulcan, the beginning of the year?
Yeah, beginning of next year sometime, yep.
So if you can get in there in January or February, what are the chances that you make WrestleMania in Louisiana?
Oh, I'm definitely. See, the problem is I should probably, if I back up, ooh, he's really good now. This new guy's good.
Who you fighting now, DC?
Piston Honda 2.
Okay.
If I could actually. Oh man, he's so good. Russ, I'm sorry, Russ. I'm playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out. But if
I'm watching you on YouTube.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Mike Tyson's Punch Out's playing you though.
Yeah, he's beating me up. But if I fight a little bit later, then yeah, WrestleMania is in April. But if I fight in January, you got to think WrestleMania's another fight might be coming up.
Ah.
So would you want to fight before WrestleMania or after? I missed
I'd like to fight like maybe before, instead of
check Facebook.
January, maybe it's like February or March, and then that way WrestleMania's in April. I'll still be in that downtime before I start training camp for another fight, maybe in like May or June.
Right.
The fights usually come like every 4 or 5 months. So
okay, seems like you want to stay away from International Fight Week a little, huh? Is it?
It's not that bad, That's always a pretty good pay-per-view. So
okay,
just depends.
All right, Russ, who do you got this weekend? Lee or Ferguson?
Ferguson.
Got it. All right,
and Mighty Mouse Johnson. All right, take it easy, guys. Good talking to you guys.
Later, Russ.
Later. Next call, Hal from Chicago. What's up, Hal? Hal, you there? Who do we have? Who's up next?
Hello?
Yep. How you doing?
You got me, bro?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, yeah.
Jerking off or what? You took
What's up, man?
About a 7-second pause there.
Yeah, I hate when, they go to the guy's nuts, and I'm like, come on, man. I don't want to see that stuff, But anyway, why is the line on Tavares dropping so much? This is what I don't get. You got Thales Latis, 37, hasn't looked that great. Tavares, I like how that guy is improving, but the line is dropping. So the money pouring in on Latis, why do you think that is?
Good question. I really couldn't tell you. Something
wrong with Brad or something? Is there, has he had a rough camp? Or
I don't know.
We were just talking about that, and I actually think this is one of his best camps.
Yeah.
Physically,
I saw him the other day, and
mentally,
he looks great. He looked to me.
Hey, can I punch this guy on the way in or no?
I really couldn't tell you how. Maybe I think people just think
in the body. Or what do I do?
A little bit closer than it is. Minus 200 Tavares versus Latis, a guy who's had his fair share of wins. That could be it. Who do you got in the main event?
Gotcha.
I lost, man.
I have Kevin Lee. The weight cut, I think, so that's good because the line is going to move up on Tony. Everybody's going to be taking Tony. I can't blame you if you take Tony. But the thing with Kevin Lee is that, I think the emotions are riding high for Tony, and that's something that you don't normally see a lot. I don't know. He's getting a lot more press coverage, and I'm just wondering if he's going to be able to deal with that change as an intangible, whereas Kevin is used to this. He's the guy with no pressure, and in a big fight like this, I think he's going to come out on top. So,
all right.
I like the plus money.
Got pressure.
All right, good call, Hal. Thank you.
All right, bro.
All right, we'll see you. All right. How you doing? How many more to get to Mike Tyson, DC.
Man, I'm not getting past this guy right here.
You're not?
No.
It's still close. You can go to a decision if you last 36 more seconds.
Block. There you go. Fire back. Oh, why didn't you go left, right, left, right? There you go.
This dude's good, man. This dude's tough.
Oh, Piston Honda too. I forgot you had to fight him 2 times.
I don't know if
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
fight him twice and Don Flamenco twice.
Yeah. All right. What's our status with Uriah Faber, Mike?
Hey, this is a really close fight as we go to the judges. This is a really close fight if we go to the judges.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear. What'd you say?
He didn't get up.
I think he said he's ready.
Is Uriah ready?
Is he ready to go?
Boys, I'm going to stay in the background and play this game.
All right. We got UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier here in studio. And we're awaiting Uriah Faber, who's going to be a part of today's show as well. Is he ready to go, Mike?
He may be calling him right now. More than likely he's calling him right now.
I got you. Okay. So far we got 2 calls. We may be able to field another one. I don't know, but it's going to be between Russ and Hal for the free stream.
I just want a decision, baby.
Fight to you.
I think it's the first time that's ever happened. I don't think I've ever won a decision. I won by split decision. What?
Who's next? Soda Popinski?
Soda Popinski. This is the end of the road, boys.
Oh, you can't take him? You can't take him?
No, because I don't remember now. I don't remember what he does. Anybody remember what he does?
Does his eyebrows or something?
Soda Pop, what does he do? Anybody on Twitter, tell us what Soda Pop does before this guy smashes me.
I'm watching YouTube. If anybody knows there, let us know.
Come on, man. He's big. You got to imagine that these are like no weight classes.
Daniel, when you do fight, you want to fight in Vegas, or is there another city that you want to get to at some point?
Vegas is fun. Vegas is always fun, man. I was just telling you guys when I got here, I don't know. Oh, he's like a horse. That's it. I always lose to this dude. I've been losing to Soda Popinski since the 80s.
And what about the Stipe angle? A lot of people are pushing for that. Since your boy Kane is kind of on the shelf a little bit right now, would this be a good time to, as 205 regenerates itself and the heavyweights sort themselves out, could the 2 champions who have both had title defenses in the past, so it's not like you're just winning and then all of a sudden leaving, and you've been a heavyweight in the past.
It does seem like it would make sense, but I was in Cleveland just recently with that dude.
Right.
Stipe Miocic is massive. I don't know how I fought heavyweights to begin with, honestly.
Sorry to interrupt, gentlemen, but Mr. Faber is on the phone.
Oh, he's ready to go.
Okay.
All right.
That's it, and I just lost. Hey, guys, thank you guys for having me. I'm going to go home and get some TKO. God dang it. Soda Popinski.
Hang tight.
People said Soda Popinski.
Hang tight. Keep playing. All right, we're going to talk to you right Faber.
I lost. Boys, I got to go. I'm going to get some rest now. Thank you guys for having me.
The California Kid joins us now on MMAjunkie Radio. What's up, Uriah? How you doing?
What's up, guys? What are you doing?
We're playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out with Daniel Cormier, but he's all salty because he lost to Soda Popinski. So he's jamming out right now, but he sends his regards.
Man, that was my game back in the day. I wasn't very good at it, but it was one of the few games that I would ever play.
Did you
All my games were Street Fighter, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Did you ever get to beat Tyson or no?
I sat right next to my brother when he beat Tyson a bunch of times.
Yeah,
but myself, I don't think so.
None of us have been able to beat Mike Tyson either. So, Faber, listen, we haven't really chatted with you much, I guess, in the last few months since you've retired. But just wanted to check in and ask you, about that. Like, is it everything you expected? Hey, I'm glad to step away, and are you glad you did it?
Holy smokes, man! Yeah, it's been great. Actually, I'm just way busier than I was prior. I was very busy before, but at least you're forced to sit and buckle down and just focus on just a fight camp for at least 8 weeks at a time. And I really am enjoying it. Of course, I get my training in daily.
Right.
Sometimes I have to skip days, but I'm still grinding with these guys and helping the next generation of dudes get the ball rolling on winning championships and all that good stuff. But man, I'm having a great time, dude.
When all these fight bookings are happening, and then like there's a world title fight next month in November, and all these Rivera versus Cruz, Vera versus Lineker. I think I saw Caraway at Extreme the other day. He must have a fight booking coming up. But when all that's happening, not even a 1%, 2% of you thinks, well, you know, my body's rested, my mind's fresh. Let me keep an eye on some of these matchups in case anyone falls out. Like, any temptations, any thoughts like that ever cross your mind?
I mean, there would be a few scenarios where I would jump in there, but not like just ready to jump in for anybody, obviously. But I absolutely am intact with mind and body, and I feel better than ever. You know, having arrested, almost half a year, or over half a year now under my belt. But I'm staying busy, man. I've got a lot going on, and I love a good fight, absolutely, and I love a good story. But as far as just want to jump in for the heck of it, there's no temptation there.
If you ever did it, it wouldn't be for the money. I think we've covered this in the past. You've been an entrepreneur, successful one over the years. So I imagine you're not part of that money fight or anything like that side of things. It would just be a competition, right? Or a paycheck, or the paycheck too. I mean, I guess what means most to you?
Absolutely. I mean, the margins. I'm a businessman. The margins on the fight game are incredible, which is funny because you try to teach these young guys about business, and everyone's trying to save a buck, and you realize that these guys are businessmen as well. They have to be their own brand, their own driving their own company, which is themselves. And the fight game, the margins, if you're doing it correctly, are really well. I mean, they're really good. So that means you're owning a restaurant. You're doing a good job if you're getting 15% of the 15 to 20% of the profit. In the fight game, you should be getting about 80, 75, 80. So of course I'm about the money as well, but the only reason I do this sport is because I love it.
What about the broadcasting booth? I'm seeing a lot of fighters pop up everywhere, and yes, you do have Dana White Contender Series, but I'm talking about the broadcasts that are either pay-per-view or part of Fox Sports. Is that of interest to a guy like yourself?
Somewhat. I've done a little bit here and there. I just really have to look at the what the opportunity was, if it's something that fits into what the way I want my life to be, and if the compensation makes sense and it's a lifestyle that makes sense, I wouldn't shy away from that in any way, shape, or form. But I like the kind of stuff that, like with Snoop, it's outside the box. I mean, there's a lot of people doing commentary. That's a pretty common thing. I like to be a little different, and I'm working on a bunch of projects from the entertainment standpoint. I'm working on a podcast, and I'm working on a few show ideas, and I'm working on, we've got that Snoop cast, and we've got a couple movie projects. I was just in The Rock's new movie, and we've got some other things on the horizon. So, I love the fight game. I love being a part of it in any way, shape, or form. I'm working with the UFC on a couple other things. Looking forward to going out to China to be a guest fighter at the China fight, possibly, doing some expansion into China. I mean, there's a lot of cool things that I'm doing, and I would definitely be interested in doing some of that. It just depends what it would look like,
This weekend we have Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee. What are your thoughts on that interim title belt between those two? Just want to get the thoughts of a guy that's been in that cage.
Man, this is an exciting fight. I mean, what a polarizing figure, in the fighting for that belt. Lee is, he's got a little bit of that star power, and then, did you see Verdum getting into it with Ferguson the other day?
Yeah, in L.A.
I mean, he seems like a loose cannon to Ferguson. It's interesting, to say the least. So I'm excited to see, two top-level guys that are both killers and some animosity and a little unique personality. As far as an interim title goes, I don't know, what that means exactly. What is the implications? What's going to happen there at that weight class? And, so I mean, I guess it's pretty interesting on that front.
Need to break him.
The fight's going to be good, man. I think I'll probably give a little edge to Lee.
And the significance of Demetrius Johnson going for the record against Ray Borg. Maybe you can explain to the fans what that means. 11 possible titles. He's got 10. 11 would be legendary.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, talk about a guy that has a great attitude. I mean, just the pillar of consistency. The guy's, lives a good lifestyle, stays on the grind, has been with his coaches from the very beginning. Matt Hume's an amazing coach. I've known him for a lot of years through the Japanese circuits, and I mean, it's just a good story to see a guy that's got all the makings of a champion, has really taken advantage of it and made sure that he stayed on top of the game. So, I mean, that's hard to do. This is a sport where it's very, very difficult to be the baddest man on the planet. Once you're there as the baddest man on the planet, staying there is even harder. So for him to be able to do that in the stacked division, going up against tough guys like Joseph Benavidez and Borg, and the list goes on. I mean, it's really impressive. So I'm excited to see if he can pull it off. I think, odds are definitely in his favor. But, I'm still kind of curious what the deal is with TJ going down there. If that's ever going to happen again, maybe after Cody and TJ fight, we'll see these guys dropping weight and kind of making some interesting matchups. But it's all part of the storyline.
It's great to have a catch-up with you, Uriah. It seems like you're in a good spot with the retirement. And if you come back, obviously we would love to chat with you and preview that fight. But otherwise, keep enjoying living life like you always do. Thanks for the time here on MMA Junkie Radio.
You got it, guys. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Folks, we're going to take our last break and then come back to wrap up shop. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. Folks, that's our week here on MMA Junkie Radio. Want to give a shout out to John Tuck, Wednesday's co-host, Dewey Cooper, Paul Felder, Marvin Vittori, to Thursday's co-host, Jason the intern, of course, Cub Swanson, Karen Bryant, Daniel Cormier, and Uriah Faber. Great job, Goes and Dan Tom. I took it to another level. I was fantastic. Shout out to all of the junkies, including our site coordinator, Randy from San Francisco. Mike Russo kicked some ass as well. Danny Okers will be back on Monday. Keep it locked on MMA Junkie throughout the weekend. We will announce via social media who won the fight stream. And also, don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back. So check us out on Sportscaster. Check social media. We'll have all the links possible. Go out there and be champions.